Hey yo, it's your boy streetcodernate. What up though? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing y'all the second video to the Insta scraper. This video is going to be about the design process. So in the previous video we talked about the first step, which was the ideation stage, and in this step we talking about the design and gathering the assets. So that's what we're going to do in this stage. Now, we're not going to go super deep into the design. Once again, I'm a software engineer, but I also do design and UI and all of that. But this is software engineer channel, and I'm doing software engineering things right now. So what we're going to do is design as a software engineer. As what do I see when I'm like supposed to design something out as an engineer? Bringing my ideas to life. We got the idea here. Now we bring it to life when we put it on a page. I always like to hit my iPad. As y'all see, I bring I'm use my iPad. I love my iPad for real. And I got this app called GoodNote, and I use my pencil. And it's literally, I got all types of notes up in here. I probably will have like over 50 notebooks if you took all my notes out my iPad. But as you see, I only got one iPad, so it's smooth. And so what I do is I get the idea. It's like I got the idea all written out. Pretty much that's called a user story. You get your user story. So I would say I got my user story at work. Now that I got my user story, let's start drawing this out and seeing the connections and see how everything worked together. So that's what we're going to do in this video. Let's get it. So we need to pull up the iPizzy right here. Hold up. Right there. Okay. Let me go home real quick. Bet. All right, bet. So we got our idea. Now let's get to the design. So I know that this is going to be a web app. So when I know it's going to be a web app, I just start off with this pretty much like as if it was on a desktop, like a screen, as if it was on a desktop. This is the web page. And so my first idea, and you need to think of this as a developer. What do you want your users to see when they first come to your website? So when they say instascraper.com, what should they see? This is the first step to the idea, or to the design part. We start taking the idea and we going page by page. Okay, so when the user comes to the site, they should see, let's see, this web page right here. So this is the web page. They should see that web page, and on the web page, let's just say it has a title up here. See, I don't even go super deep into the description or into what the things look like right there. I don't even go super deep into what it looks like. Like, you just see that it just says title and it's a square. Cool, because everything in my head and HTML is just a block. If you want to understand that, go check out my HTML CSS videos. Got you. So title is the first part. Then they'll just probably say Insta scraper or something. Now we need to invite the user to search a username or something. So let's probably have some description text right here. Okay, cool. So now we got our description text, and then now in order to search the username, we need, let's say, an input box. So we'll call this the input box. Cool. All right. Now they got an input box. In order to like actually make that input be processed, we need a button, right? So we got a button. And bada boom, bada bam, we just got our web page made out. I got my thing all the way over there, so I got to jump over here. But we just got our web page made out just like that. We got our title to our web page, which is the Instagram scraper. Then we got go ahead and got our description. And then we got the input box, and then we got the button. We hitting them all. Cool. That's on the home page. So we can go ahead right here and go home page. Bet. Cool. So now that's on the home page. Let's say, what's the next move? Let's say that the user on the home page, the user actually is about to put in somebody's username. So I'm about to put NBA, right? So I put in NBA into this little input box. NBA, bet. So NBA is there. Now, I go ahead and hit this search button. Bruh, hit search. Cool. So I'll go ahead and hit the search button. Now the NBA that gets processed somehow. What should I see next? Let's keep going to these front end pages. After this information gets processed, let's not go into the details of how it's going to be processed. We're going to get there soon. But let's figure out what should we see next after this is processed. Cool. So the user clicked or put NBA. What should we see next? Bet. This is the next page. Once again, web page. We'll go right here. And then we got, let's say this is the items searched or username searched page. User, or it ain't even got to be a page. It could just be what we call it a user flow. It could just be a flow. When I'm describing the user putting the username here and then they clicking it, that's called a user flow. You heard me say user story before. So a user story would be a developer implementing one of those user flows. So a user could actually flow. And a user flow is what a user would do if they were to use your application. So that's what you have to do in the design stage is start thinking, and even the ideation stage for real. That's where we should have started this a long time ago. But I already knew what the Instagram was looking like, so I didn't really have to hit this user flow. But in the design stage, it's essential to understand what would the user do, because you got to think of UX, UI stuff. So that's very important in the design stage of the application, especially or pertaining to the front end, especially. So this is the username searched right here flow. Cool. So it's probably going to be on the same page. It's probably just going to, you know, instead of having this button right there, it's probably going to load some data at the end. Something like that. Cool. So the username page or flow, the username search flow. And so what is it going to do? Well, let's say it's still going to keep the title. So it will still keep the title. And let's say the description has changed. And we'll just go changed. And it'll probably say like search another person or something. All right, cool. And then you got the input box still. And let's say that the search button moved right here. That'd be fun to do. Okay, and then the search button moved up. Bet. Cool. So, and the search button gonna move up because now our search items are gonna come back. The things that we just searched. And what did I say that? In the last video, I said we're going to do the last 5 posts that user made. So what would that look like? How are we going to bring this back? How are we going to display this to the front end is pretty much this point right now. How are we going to display these last 5 posts? And we will say, let's say there's a text box right here that says, that text box would be like the last 5 posts for NBA.com or for streetcodernate. So let's say I'll just go last 5 posts, and I know that this is like and the reason I just didn't want to put description or a title is because I don't know if I want it as a paragraph text or a title text. So right now I'll just put last 5 posts, and then I'll put like title, but I know I got to figure it out which one I want. All right, cool. So that's just going to be like a title to display the last 5 posts. And so how do I see these last 5 posts in my head? Well, I kind of like the list view to show the last 5 posts. So let's say that each post kind of looked like this. And we had the image right here. And then we had the number of likes. Or we had like something like it said likes. And then it was like 45. And then it said comments. And it said like 4, and then it had a button right here that says more, right? And then the more button, we could click on this more button, and what it will do is drop this down, or it will, we'll click on the more button. So that's another flow to click on the more button. So what I'm gonna do is actually do this correct way is copy this, copy. Go to another page, paste it, bet, cool. And now let's say that we click the more button. So the more button has been clicked. So this flow right here is more button clicked. More button clicked. And before we go there, let's just say, let's add these 3 dots to indicate that this section is going to have times 5. 5 of those, 5 of these little thingamabobs. Cool. Bet. Now let's say that we clicked on more. More was clicked on. So what's going to happen is more is going to disappear, and this bottom is going to extend down a little bit, right? And comments actually will extend down too, and we'll have a list of people who liked it. So this will be their image, and then username. Let's say this is their image, and then you have just a whole bunch of those. Cool. That's for the likes. For the comments on the same tip. All right, so we'll have like a separator, and then comments, we'll say, what was it before? 4. Let's say comments 4, and then we'll have same type of thing here, username, but then when we click on it, it'll have a drop down of the comment like that. But then you click it back and the comment will go away. Cool. We supposed to make another flow for that, but I got a mosquito bite. I tried to itch that hole without itching it. All right, but yeah, I should have made another flow for the drop down, but I get the idea. It's gonna come up, not tap it, and then the comment will drop down, and you tap it back, and the comment will go back up. Cool. So that's pretty much all we want to do in this application. This application will be pretty much straightforward. So we got our design. We got our design, which is our landing page, is what it's called, a home page, and it just got the title, the description, the input box, and the button. That's what we got there. Then we got the, let's say, the username search flow. So in this flow, we got the title. Let me zoom in a little bit more so y'all can get it. So we got the title. We got the description that says, like, the description that was changed that says, you know, search another person, because you just search this person. Input box, and then the search button actually comes up as well. And then we got, it will say like last 5 posts, and it'll show you the last 5 posts in a list view looking something like these right here. So now and it has this button right here, and after you click that button, it will take you to this part where this thing is just extended down, but you still got the other ones that aren't clicked, the other posts that aren't clicked. Likes and whatnot, comments, 0, 0, something like that. Feel me? And then the image. That's the idea, or that's the design. We just connected the design with the idea. We got it down. That's dope. That's pretty much dope. All right, so the design stage is for, I would say, it's for the front end, but it's also for the back end as well. I would say the back end stage is more the ideation stage, because you got to think about it. Apps are honestly back end, but users don't like to use like console terminals and stuff like that. They like graphical user interfaces. So we create a front end for them to interact with the actual application. So the app is the back end and the database and whatnot, but the front end just helps you interact with it. Okay, cool. So the ideation stage is pretty much you designing the back end, and therefore the design stage is you designing the front end in order to connect to those services in the back end that we designed in the first, or that we ideated in the first video. You see how it's all making sense? In the next video, we're gonna start creating our repositories so that we can start getting our backend code all together. I'll see y'all in that video. Deuces.